beautiful sunny South Florida. I hope you're having a great day. We are in the beginning of September, and it is officially football season if you are a sports fan, which I am not. But I have to be by default because Jose Hubby is a huge sports fan. So it is football season officially in the Duarte household. And it made me think about with us being in September and this being the fourth quarter of the year for us, like in business terms. We were watching the game and this team was losing miserably. And I said, well, the fourth quarter hasn't even started. It's about to get started. So games have been won and lost in the fourth quarter. You could be crushing it. And then in the fourth quarter, you get comfortable. I don't know, they lose their zeal, they get tired, and the other team come back and win the game. So it don't take much. The fourth quarter is very important to not take your focus off the goal, right? So that's kind of where some of the thoughts for today's episode came from. I kind of have been wanting to go back to the beginning since seems like a perfect time in the season to just start over. With this being beginning the fourth quarter before we go into the new year, and with the new year, we tend to start new things and have a fresh start. So why not let's go back to the beginning and hit the reset button and be prepared for the reset when it comes. So those of you who have been procrastinating on getting that business started and pushing that passion project out there, this is a perfect time for you to say, okay, I'm really going to do it this year and start taking these steps with me to get us to our job optional goal. Today we're going to start with vision because that's where it begins. If we're going to start with the beginning, okay, this is time for us to really lay out a plan, and it all starts with vision. This exercise is going to be hard for some, and for some it'll be pretty easy because some of us can be a little mental. I know I can be a little mental and really dwell on things instead of just letting the ideas flow freely, because at the end of the day, we're not creating a plan right now. We're just going to be visioning what we want to see in our business, what the goal will be eventually. But right now, I just want you to think about and vision what it is that you hope to accomplish with your business. How do you want it to look? How do you want it to feel? What do you want your customers to look like? What experience do you want them to have? Just envision how it's going to change your life and your family's life. Just have a vision. Just vision it out. Whatever it is that you want to see, think about those things and dream about those things. You can write them down so that you don't forget them, but I don't want you to be so focused on the writing that you don't really let your mind flow freely and really just dream and vision about what it is that you want. And then once you have really thought about it and you see in your mind's eye those details that, I want to touch people's lives in this way and I want them to feel this way and I want to see this amount in my bank account and I want to, XYZ. I want you to take those thoughts, those feelings, those emotions, those dreams, and then I want you to think bigger. Because we all have a ceiling on our dreams. We all have what we think is possible for us and what's possible for others. Like we could see it for Oprah, like, oh, Oprah could do it, but Oprah wasn't always Oprah. So I want you and you know what, I have fallen in love with the Tesla. I think it's such a cool car. I've just fallen in love with it, and I think about Elon Musk and the visionary that he had to be able to to envision what we now see as the Tesla and his company and going to space and that sort of thing. Who thinks that big? He did. And so for us, it's like, why not for us? Why not for me? So I want you to take that dream that you have and even expand it. And I also want you to think about whatever your passion project is that you're trying to get off the ground, or whatever that business is that you are struggling with right now. I want you to think about ways that you can diversify your income with that business, because I want that to be a part of the eventual plan that we're going to make together. And of course, all this information will be on the website, JanaeNicole.com. And definitely you'll find more resources there, more in-depth how-to sort of things. So, yeah, I want you to dream, vision, think bigger, think about ways that you could bring in a little extra income even with your side hustle, even with your passion project, whether it be advertising on your website, little things. Just, it doesn't have to be a whole lot of money, but just think of ways that you can bring in a little bit extra income by what you're already going to be doing. And write those things down. Now, after you've done all your dreaming and thinking about what it is that you want to see, then we are moving into, okay, we're going to write these things down. If you're like me and you have to write things down pretty quickly because you'll forget them, that's okay. But like I said, don't get so caught up in the writing that you lose, letting your mind just kind of freely see what's possible, and not putting those limits on what we think is possible. It doesn't matter of the how at this point. Just seeing what you want to see and going with that. Just let it flow freely, whatever it is. You want to cater at the White House, whatever. You know, let your mind flow freely with what it is that you see, that you want to see, because I believe that vision is from God. And when we tap into that, when we see what God sees is possible for us, then we can really walk in our purpose and we can really become who we are meant to become without the limits that we put on ourselves and others try to put on us. So let's not beat the dead horse. Yeah, we're going to talk about vision boards for a quick second. So once you've done your dreaming and you're done with that, like we said, we're going to create a vision board. Now take some of those elements that you saw in your vision, and if you have the time and you have the resources to do all of them, whatever it is that you saw, then let's create a physical vision board. If you can't, if you don't have the resources to make a physical vision board, Pinterest is a great way to do this digitally. However, Pinterest can be a huge time suck, because I myself am an addict. I raise my hand. I love Pinterest, and I can get on there and be on there for days and go down a rabbit trail, because you see so many pretty shiny things and it's like, oh, that looks neat, that looks cute, and you'll get off topic. If you can get on there and create a vision board and be dedicated and be focused on the task at hand and don't get distracted by all the pretty things that you see, yes, do it on Pinterest. If not, you might have to go old school and get you some magazines and some newspapers and pull up some clip arts on the computer and cut them out. But Pinterest is a really good way to be able to have everything in one place. Just be mindful of not going down the rabbit trail. So yeah, I think having a physical vision board, I think it is a little bit more powerful because as you're taking the time and you're looking at the different pictures and you're looking at different articles and words that you want to be on your vision board because of the visions that you saw, and you're cutting those things out and you're placing them on your physical board that you're creating with your hands, I think it puts it's a little bit more powerful in your mind that you remember the feeling that you were having when you chose that picture and you physically cut it out and you put it on there. So taking those steps, I think, will cement it more in our mind than just pinning a couple things on Pinterest, because that's something that most of us already do anyway on Pinterest. It's kind of like my hope wish boards. But when you actually have a board that is your specific vision, a physical piece of I don't want to say property, but a physical manifestation of what you saw in your mind. And especially if you see it like in a magazine or something like that. So you know it's out there and you already know it's possible. Now, if you have a vision for something that's not even invented yet, then maybe just write the words that you saw. Anyway, at the end of the day, we want to end up with a vision board that speaks to what we see in our mind's eye, not what other people think we should have, what God wants us to have. Okay? I think that speaks for itself. So I think you got a good foundation there and what we just spoke about. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping here at the end. I just want you to be aware that as I'm looking at my quarter 4 and the vision and the plans that I have coming up for the new year, I've been strapping with this for a while and deciding, do I want to go to a bi-weekly show? And I have come to the realization that I have tried to struggle along here and continue to do a weekly show, but right now it's just not going to be possible for me to take Janae Nicole brand and this business to the next level. I'm going to have to cut back on some of my time commitments with some of the things that I love to do. And podcasting, as you know, I am a huge fan, and this is one of the things that is a love of mine. But I realize that, I have to really take stock of what's important and what's going to push the needle further. So I will be cutting the show back to bi-weekly. So this show is going to drop on September 9th and September 6th. And the next episode then is going to be on September 20th. So be looking out for that. And we're going to talk about clarity. We're going to talk about clarity of the vision and what's your why, and then get into some mind mapping and that sort of thing in the next episode. So, yeah, girls, you got your homework. It's going to be exciting to kind of see where we go in this new year and what you have a vision for your life, your business, and your legacy. All right, guys. So, of course, you can always reach out to me at JanaeNicole.com, where you can find the show notes of this episode, and know that you are loved. And I'll holler at you later. Bye.